Filipina Wife Abandoned. Can she remarry now? Yes, my fiancé is still married, but he ran out on her, and she hasn't heard from him in 14 years. Can we marry? A Down Under visa, we hear the story all the time. Most of the time it's probably very true too, because the Philippines has its fair share of irresponsible men. It happens all too commonly with OFWs, which is overseas Filipino workers too, when the husband or wife goes to Dubai or somewhere like that and never comes back. Can she marry me when she's still legally married? Short answer, no. Long answer, hell no. I remember seeing a marriage license application from India many years ago. It had questions on there, one of them married or unmarried, second one, if married, state how many wives are still living. The Philippines is not India, and whilst I'm not sure what the Muslims are allowed to do under Sharia law here, if you're a Filipino lady married under the regular laws of the Philippines, that means under the family code of the Philippines, then she may only have one husband at a time. If she's still legally married, she can't marry you. If she married Jhun Jhun from Mt Tambay in 1983, she's still married to him. And Australia is similarly conservative when it comes to the topic of polygamy. Your future wife may have only one husband at a time. To get an Australian partner visa, she needs to be legally free to marry before applying for a partner visa based on a present or prospective marriage. And it applies to you too. In other words, if you married Betty Thumpkins and Udna Datta in 1967, and she's alive and well, and you didn't get a divorce, well then she's still your blushing bride. Being married twice at the same time, this is called bigamy, and it's a crime in Australia as well as in the Philippines. Legal solutions for your still married Filipino fiancé. There is no legal, no-fault divorce in the Philippines. I have no idea what Mr. Duterte is planning in this area, but regardless of this, there have been quite a few bills go to Congress to introduce easy divorces over the years, yet they've all been overturned, so I wouldn't hold your breath on that one. The main option is to get an annulment. Now, I won't go into that in great detail right now because I've written about this extensively on the blog page. So if you have a look on the blog page, just search for the term annulment. You'll find a lot of articles there about that. This is the most common pathway to end a marriage. It takes time, costs money, and the process is often frustrating. But most of the time they are successful. I can't actually think of a legitimate time where a couple had one knocked back by the judge. Not these days, anyway. The other solution, which is used on occasions, is the presumptive death option. If the applicant has reasonable grounds to believe that her ex-husband is actually dead, and no one has seen or heard from him for 4 years, this could be an option. You just need to be aware that if he suddenly reappears and tells the court he's still alive, the subsequent marriage may be voided. There are various other grounds for which a marriage may be declared null and void. Mind you, they still have to go through the court, so there is no automatic way for a marriage to end. But those other reasons include marrying blood relatives, if your wife happened to have married her brother by mistake, etc., underage marriages, bigamous and polygamous marriages, and, would you believe, where one party killed their own spouse or the spouse of the other party. I can't wait for the first prospective client to come in to me and say, "I just killed my lady's husband. Jeff, can you get her a visa?" I think they might have bigger problems to deal with. What about de facto relationships? I've also written a lot of articles about de facto relationships. Again, just have a search on the blog page, put in de facto, and you'll get a lot of information there. Now, this is an important point. You may remain married and apply successfully for an Australian partner visa based on a de facto relationship. Okay, and this may well save you from the miseries of going through an annulment. This is most definitely an option, and it's one which plenty of applicants choose, and we have a lot of experience in this area. So just be aware that it does require a lot more evidence and documentation than a partner visa based on a marriage takes, and you don't have a de facto relationship just because you firmly believe that you are in one. And what that means is you need to start living together, which you can do here, or here in the Philippines, over time, or over time, through a series of tourist visas to Australia. Just don't expect that we can get you a 1-year tourist visa so you can do this, as that's not what tourist visas are designed for. It will definitely take some work and some patience, and you will benefit enormously from some professional guidance. Ignore guidance and try to bluff your way through it, and it will end badly though, as will any Australian visa application. Okay, thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed that. Would appreciate if you can subscribe to our page, and if you can share this video on social media, that would be appreciated. Thank you.